Alrighty, people, how we doing? How we feeling? How are we doing? Yes, I am solo dolo today. Your beloved truly Zach is not here with us today, but that's okay. I'm going to be answering all of your fantasy questions on the Flog Fantasy website and on YouTube. So all you have to do is be very, very patient, and we'll get to each and every one of your questions. We do appreciate you. It is the first kickoff on week 15. Okay, the NFL or the fantasy playoffs, excuse me, starts right now tonight in the next hour and a half. Kickoff is about to happen, and that's pretty significant here if you are trying to make the playoffs. Maybe you have Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Kyron Williams, Debo Samuel. If you are going to start him, I'm going to be starting him in some of my leagues, which I really am not excited for. The fact that I made the playoffs with Debo Samuel is interesting. Obviously, you have Isaac Horrendo, who is going to be active, which we are going to be getting into all of that news and notes, obviously, that has been happening throughout today. But say what's up if you are here. We appreciate everyone that is in the chat. And let me just start off by saying this: if you are going to be spamming your questions in the chat, you're going to be put on the timeout. You're gonna get in the corner. You're gonna get that little white hat on top. You're gonna get in that corner, right? But we appreciate you. Make sure you drop a like here. Once again, we're gonna be prioritizing the website, and then we're gonna be going to YouTube. So we appreciate you. And let's get straight into the news. We're not going to waste any more time. And yes, make sure you do drop a like, as our like goal today is going to be 50 likes. So hopefully we can get that with your help here. All right, but let's get into all of the news, because there is some significant news, I would say, that has happened in the past couple of hours here. And let's get straight into it. Bear with me, because I haven't gone live solo in a long time, so we appreciate you. Kenneth Walker does not practice again on Thursday, so I think he's trending on the direction where he is not going to be playing, which is going to be pretty interesting. Jake Hayner is a starting quarterback for the Saints. I don't think that's that big of a deal. Hollywood Brown. Yeah, Isaac Horrendo is active for Thursday night, so I know Zach and I were on two different pages on Isaac Horrendo, either playing or not playing. I know Zach yesterday was saying that he would be starting him in a lot of his leagues if he was going to be active. So it's going to be interesting to see all of those guys, all of these starting lineups today. About Isaac Horrendo, because I think I might be leaning on his side going into tonight. Mike Evans, Bucky Irving does not practice again on Thursday, which is pretty significant if you do have Mike Evans and or Bucky Irving. I think it's going to be trending in the direction where Bucky doesn't play if he doesn't practice on Friday. So let's stay tuned for that. Lab McConkey was limited in practice on Thursday, which is good, trending in the right direction to be playing. He's playing the Bucks this week, so that's pretty significant. Let's see. George Pickens doesn't practice again on Thursday as well. Tony Pollard doesn't practice on Thursday. Breece Hall doesn't practice. So once again, on Thursday, normally kind of trends in the direction where they're not going to play. So definitely make sure you be changing, your lineups if Pickens, Pollard, or Breece. You do have one more day to see if something turns around, but that's pretty significant. Cedric Tillman is limited at practice. This is a big one, because I know this was on Zach's, I guess, week 15 stars, the players that go nuclear. David Njoku was on that list there with Jameis Winston, and he does not practice again today, which is pretty significant, because I did see other reports that he was most likely going to be missing this week, saying that it's going to be a long shot for him to play. So David Njoku not playing is pretty significant. Alvin Kamara doesn't practice with the illness. I think he does play. Evan Ingram doesn't practice, which is interesting. And then Josh Downs, etc., etc. I don't necessarily believe there's anything too significant. DeAndre Hopkins doesn't practice again today. So yeah, I think that's about it. That's kind of where we're at on the list. Ted McMillan finally declares. I think that's a big one for all the Dynasty lovers out there. We're going to be putting out a lot more Dynasty content on the Dynasty channel, but definitely stay tuned for that. But yes, without further ado, let's get into the website questions. I know you guys have been waiting patiently, and we appreciate you. And let's get straight into it. Oh, one thing I forgot to do was press live. I wonder if I'm supposed to do that now. I'm not going to do it now. Ooh. See, haven't done it in a long time. We appreciate you guys in Press Live, but you guys still be able to be getting it on the live stream. So hopefully that is okay. I don't know if I should do it. What do you think? Should I go Press Live? I think I will. I will. I'm just going to hide my screen really fast. I just think that that's pretty significant. Just give me a second here, guys, and I'll go ahead and do that really fast. And then you guys, and then... Okay. All right. That is better. Maybe I shouldn't have done that, but that is okay. We'll see what happens. All right. Here, going into the questions, Annie and Dub G, we appreciate the team reviews. Once again, we're going to be getting to these on Monday, that Monday stream right before kickoff there. But thank you for being patient. But the first question we do have here is a haul. My first time using this site. Sorry if I mess up. It's all good. We appreciate you. Baker Mayfield or Bo Nix. I'm going to be going Baker. I think the matchup is great. Well, not great. I do believe it's going to be a high-scoring matchup. Personally, he's going to be playing, if I'm not mistaken, the Los Angeles Chargers. But Bo Nix also has a great matchup this week. I think Baker Mayfield, what he's been doing all season, I think I can't sit him there. At the running back position, some great names. I think if Kenneth Walker does not play, this is easily going to be Derrick Henry. And then, oh, it's only one running back. Okay, this is start 7. So that's interesting. So let's wait and see what this looks like. At the wide receiver position, you're going to be starting Justin Jefferson. I think you might have done this wrong here, and then it'll be Amon-Ra St. Brown. So this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 you have here. So if this is a start 7, meaning 2 running backs and another wide receiver, just keep in mind a whole start Zach Charbonnet. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play at that wide receiver 2 position, you put Amon-Ra St. Brown in there, and then the next person that I personally will be playing will be Malik Neighbors there. So appreciate you there. What's happening, Styles? How you doing? And let's just submit that. What I am going to do is I am just going to give you a free start sit question, because I do believe you did that wrong, and I want you to figure out how to submit that. And I'll actually show you really fast, and I think this is a good opportunity to show you how to do that. So you just go to here, personal advice. Okay, you go to start sit questions, right? And then your team's going to come up. You're going to link your team. And for example, obviously the Flog Fantasy League, which is pretty sad that I didn't make the playoffs, but appreciate you guys supporting. And you are just going to be setting your lineups. You know, you're going to say, I'm considering Jaden Daniels. You're going to click on considering Jaden Daniels, considering Jared Goff, et cetera, right? And then you're just going to continue to go there. Right, you're going to make sure you continue to choose all these guys. These are all the players you're considering. At the wide receiver position, you're considering Justin Jefferson. You're considering T. Higgins. You're considering Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? And obviously click considering and then press these guys. Anyways, hopefully that helps. We appreciate you. The next one here is Daniel. Let me just click on next question. It's the first time. What's happening? Daniel says, hey guys, happy holidays. Can't handle Evan Ingram anymore. Heartburn starting Hunter Henry. Yeah, look, Evan Ingram once again didn't practice today, so that's pretty significant. If he doesn't play, obviously Hunter Henry does have a decent matchup, especially with them, I think most likely going to be playing from behind against the Arizona Cardinals, and that's what you want to see with Drake May and so on and so forth. So if Drake May can continue hitting Hunter Henry, that's exactly what you want to do. Spy Dr. Mike is next. He says RB2 spot if K9 plays and wide receivers in the flex spot. All right, so let's have a look at this team. Kyler Murray gonna start Kyler Murray with Baker Mayfield. So those are your starting lineups. James Conner and Tony Pollard. Let's see any other running backs you do have. Yeah, so obviously if Kenneth Walker plays, you're gonna put him over Tony Pollard, but I do believe Tony Pollard is your best bet, but he also didn't practice, if I'm not mistaken, in Tajay Spears might be the next guy up. But if that is the case, if Tajay Spears is the next guy up, because technically that is also an interesting matchup against the Bengals, I personally would be starting Ramondre Stevenson over Tony Pollard and or Tajay Spears if those guys doesn't play, right? So keep that in mind. Obviously, we're going to put Kenneth Walker in there in hopes that he does play. If not, Tony Pollard. And if not Tony Pollard, I'm going to be playing Ramondre Stevenson. At the wide receiver position, you have Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Puka Nacua. And I think that is a fairly good lineup. I'm not starting any of the DJ Moore or Jerry Jeudy over them. Dalton Kincaid at tight end, that's a tough one. It'll be interesting with Stone Smart just because of what he did last time. And I'll show you. Let's go on sleeper here and just see what Stone did, because I picked him off waiver wires in one of my leagues, and I do believe is pretty significant because if he is going, Will Dissly's going to miss some time. It's called 3 out of 3 targets for 8 fantasy points. And look, it's not exciting, but the matchup is exciting. He's playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This should be a shootout. Is he going to be involved in this matchup? I think so, but it is a little bit risky. And Dalton Kincaid has been doing absolutely nothing. If I'm not mistaken, you have Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, you haven't been excited to start Dalton Kincaid at all, and now he is playing this week in week 15, the Detroit Lions. I'm just not sure what more involvement he is going to be needing, or not more involvement, but how he can be more involved in an offense that hasn't really needed him in the past couple weeks outside of last week against the Rams. Look, he does participate in practice. It looks like he is going to play. This is a toss-up. It really is. 8 fantasy points in one game with only 3 targets, or you can get 4 points, or you can get 8 points, or 5 points. Obviously, you want to go with the best matchup there. I think it's a tough one to say. But look, I'm going to continue with Dalton Kincaid. Just want to give you my 2 cents there. Obviously, then T. Higgins and Ladd McConkey here. So I think this is a perfect lineup. Actually, I technically might have DJ Moore over Ladd McConkey, and I'm not upset about it because I know the Bears last time they played the Vikings, it was interesting. The Vikings do have a tough secondary, but for me in my house, you have to remember, look, Minnesota Vikings, 26 fantasy points last time. This is a divisional game. I'm going to be putting DJ Moore in there, but I'm not upset if you want to start Ladd McConkey there, Spy Mike. So keep that in mind. I'm going to submit that one. So appreciate you. I don't even know how to say this. EF, I'm just going to call you E. What's happening, E? We appreciate that. Star Sig question. Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, Chase Brown. Yeah, and there's no one else you're going to be starting there at the running back position. You're already starting Nico Collins. And at the wide receiver position, I'm going to be going Malik Neighbors. And look, I understand it's still not exciting with Tommy Cutlets. I'm a Giants fan. It's tough to really understand what's going to be happening, but this team is going to be playing from behind the majority of the time, and they're going to have to be throwing the ball up. If you don't want to start Malik Neighbors, I'll tell you who you should be starting after, but let's look at what other options we have. David Njoku might be tough because he might not play, and Evan Ingram might not play, so you might have to look at the waiver wires, and a guy that I said that I picked up in a situation like this when I have David Njoku, I picked up Stone Smart. So keep that in mind. Maybe there's a Cole Kmet out there. Obviously, Will Dissly is out. So there's a couple of names. At the flex position, yeah, man, this is interesting. I said I was going to lean with Zach this week, and I think what we're going to have to do is that we're going to put Isaac Correndo in the RB2 spot here for Thursday night. Then we are going to be putting Chase Brown here, and then I'm going to be starting Courtland Sutton, who I have over DJ Moore by 1 spot. Great matchup this week. Just going through again: Jalen Hurts, Derrick Henry, Isaac Correndo, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, David Njoku. You have to figure out who's going to be playing at that game on Sunday. Keep that in mind. Chase Brown and Courtland Sutton there. So appreciate you, E. Thank you so much. And we have next is Matt Bear. Appreciate you. So last week before playoffs, can't tell if I'm overthinking it. I need an extra 15 points total to make it past a tiebreaker. Appreciate the help always. Well, appreciate you, Matt. Thank you so much for all of the support. Josh Allen. Yep. Isaac Correndo, who is playing. Ooh, James Conner has a great matchup. And I do technically, I need to change Isaac Herendo in my rankings. I do have James Conner over Isaac, but let's just see here, because let's just see where we're going to put in the flex. This is where I'll do. So James Conner, Chase Brown, and you start Justin Jefferson. And then at the wide receiver 2 spot, this is where we'll go Cortland Sutton. And then, yep, Travis Kelce. Oh man, this is tough. This is tough. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. We're going to start Isaac Herendo. We're gonna put James Conner in the flex, and it also depends on what you need. If you need a safe floor, a high upside. If you need a safe floor, James Conner. If you need a high upside play, I personally would then go CeeDee Lamb playing the Carolina Panthers. I don't know if I can potentially be sitting CeeDee Lamb playing the Panthers this week. So just depends on what you need, high upside or safe floor. That's what I will be doing in this matchup here, Matthew. We appreciate you. I mean, $22 is pretty huge, and I'm just going to give you a free star sit question here. Thank you so much for the continued support, man. And I see you, E. You says, all right, I didn't tell you who you will start in replacement of Malik Neighbors. If I'm not mistaken, let me just go back. Sorry, now I need to go back here. Let me just triple check this. Just want to make sure I have the right one. If I'm not mistaken, I think you had Devontae Adams. Yeah. Okay, so you had Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton. I said I would be starting Cortland Sutton and DJ Moore and then Malik there. I would start Devontae Adams over Malik Neighbors if you're not too confident in that. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if that's the right one. Julian Sanchez, he said, traded Tyreek and Brian Robinson for CMC week 11. Now I'm left without Tyreek, Brian Robinson, and CMC. Yeah, that's just unlucky. That's really unlucky, man. I wasn't too much on not. When I say it wasn't too much, I was like on the fence with getting CMC. I was always nervous about the re-injury, and this is something I'm pretty sure if you would have asked me in those times, I would have said, I'm not necessarily sure I want CMC, because CMC was, yeah, you hope that he was going to come back and do what he did, but it was too hard and too rough to really lean on what's going to be happening with CMC there, right? So I understand that's tough. Let's go Justin Herbert here at the running back position, Saquon Barkley. At the RB2 spot, we're going to go Alvin Kamara. At the wide receiver spot, you got Puka Nacua here. And in my rankings, I will go T. Higgins. I have T. Higgins over Jaden Reed this week with Puka Nacua, Brock Bowers, and then at the flex position, once again, if you want high floor, I would personally be going Adam Thielen, technically, but if you want a high ceiling, you go Adam Thielen. If you want a safe floor, you go Devontae Adams, but I will go Devontae Adams here. So appreciate you there. LeVar Ball. So you said Guerrero and Sutton for the flex, so Adams and Moore on the bench. Who of them over Neighbors? Who considering more? Yes, I will put DJ Moore there, because that was what I said. DJ Moore against the Vikings last time, put 26 points up. That's exactly what I would do. Sorry if that was confusing, man. But appreciate you for hanging on in there with me. All right, LeVar Ball, appreciate you. Guys, if you want your questions answered via the website, all you have to do is, go to the pinned comment. Go to the pinned comment and then make sure you prioritize. You can get your question prioritized here on the website, and we appreciate you much. All right, LeVar Ball. Thank you. PPR, Evans, London, or Garrett. Could be sneaky play. Quarterback is Josh Allen, Kyron Williams. Running back is Chase Brown, with Tajay Spears and Patrick Taylor. At the wide receiver position, this is where I would be going Drizzy Drake. I have Drizzy Drake over Mike Evans. I think Mike Evans might not play this week. Then Jonnu Smith or Evan Ingram. I'm happy to go Jonnu Smith. And at the flex this is Jahmyr Gibbs. This is a star 7. This is a really strong team. Evans, London, Garrett Wilson could be a sneaky play. I can understand it. I'm still going to go London. I think he's just been phenomenal. I think he's been really good. And he's going against the Raiders, which I know the Raiders have technically been bad against the pass. It's because they've been getting beat on the ground. But I like London this week. I like what he's been doing for the past couple of, for the whole season, not the past couple weeks, but for the whole season. And I think we're going to continue to see that. So, but look, I think there could be an argument if you want a high upside, safe floor type of play. I do believe, Drake London brings you that safe floor, but if you want that high upside, Garrett Wilson technically could be that high upside. He can give you 12 points or he can give you 25 points. Mike Evans, I do believe he might not play this week, so definitely keep that in mind. But appreciate you. I'll be going Drizzy Drake here. All right, next question here is Mr. Green. Appreciate you. Says my opponent has Tyreek Hill. Should I start Tua? Look, with your options here, I personally would still be going Jaden Daniels. And I know this game, a lot of people may not like Jaden Daniels because they might say, hey, well, the Saints are going to be, the Commanders going to be up and they might just run the ball. I'm still going to go Jaden Daniels with that rushing upside because you have to think about it. He rushes the ball as well. And so does obviously Brian Robinson. But if Jaden Daniels can score 1 or 2 of those rushing touchdowns, I think we can easily see that coming into this week. So I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. I think Zach may see that a little bit differently, which I can definitely tell you where Zach has his rankings here. And obviously you can get his rankings on the Flock Fantasy website. But the only way you can get that is if you do use our promo code LAND and sign up, because you get free expert consensus rankings as a whole, but you don't get our individual rankings here. This week, Zach does have Jaden Daniels, and that's the rest of the season. Let's go to week 15 really quick. Zach has Jaden Daniels as the QB4 over Kyler and Tua, so I think that is pretty fair to say. So you start Jaden Daniels there. At the running back position, you're going to start Devon Achane and Bijan Robinson, and you do have a couple other guys there, which we might get to. You're starting Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then I would start Mike Evans, obviously if he plays. And we'll get to a point where if he doesn't play, okay? Trey McBride, and at the flex position, this is 2 quarterbacks. So do you put 2 quarterbacks in? Do you put another quarterback in this flex option or just another quarterback? Because I'm not necessarily sure if I see it here. Maybe you did it wrong. But if this is a 2 quarterback start, I personally would be going Kyler Murray over Tua. So keep that in mind. This is interesting because I would go Zach Charbonnet if Kenneth Walker doesn't play. There's a lot of ands, if, or buts in this matchup. So let's start from the top here, okay? If Mike Evans plays, you start Mike Evans. If he doesn't play, I'm going personally to be going Rome Odunze, okay? That's where I would go if Mike Evans doesn't play. If Kenneth Walker plays, I'm going Zach Charbonnet. But if he does play, I'm going to be going Breece Hall. But if Breece Hall doesn't play, I'm going Brandon Allen. There's so many ands, if, or buts on how this is going to be set up here. So definitely keep that in mind. This is a tough one for sure, but I think you have to play it close by the ear to really understand what's going to be happening on this weekend, okay? So hopefully that helps, Mr. Green. I know that might be a little bit confusing, but that is exactly what I personally be doing. Bucks, thank you so much. He says, in the playoffs, playing the #1 seed, should I risk starting Guerrero over Dowdle? Thanks, guys. Okay, so yes, we would start Isaac Guerrero or Rico Dowdle. I see Tyrone Tracy there, but we will start Isaac. I didn't think he was going to play, but he does end up playing. So Jalen Hurts, Isaac, Chase Brown, Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, and at the flex spot, this is where we would be going. Well, technically we're going Jawan Jennings. So what you want to do here is put Jawan Jennings in that wide receiver 2 spot and then put Justin Jefferson in that flex. Okay, just because that Thursday night game, you have 2 Thursday night matchups or players, Cooper Kupp and Jawan Jennings. So that's how I will set that lineup, Bucks. But we appreciate you. All right, Chef Porg, Chefy, how we doing? All right, it says considering Jordan Love or Justin Herbert, I'm still going J Love this week. I do like the matchup. He's going against the Seattle Seahawks. This is the I was going to say a divisional game. It's not a divisional game, but should be a high-scoring game in Seattle, so that's where I'll be going. Bijan Robinson, you start. And then, once again, a lot of ands, if, or buts. It doesn't look like Bucky Irving is going to start. Neither is Kenneth Walker, but in order, if they were to start, it'll be Kenneth Walker. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, it's Bucky Irving. If Bucky Irving doesn't play, it's James Cook. Now, you may not like James Cook because of the matchup, and that's okay. If you want to start Tyrone over him, that's what I would do. And if Breece Hall doesn't play, Braylon Allen is still the last person I'm going to be playing over all of these guys, no matter the situation. So we're going to put Kenneth Walker as he's ranked my #1 running back in this week. Not running back, but in this group of running backs, I'll put him there since he's the #1 guy in order. And then you can go, as I said, Puka Nacua, Nico Collins, TJ Hawkinson, and then at the flex, I'm going to go Jackson Smith and Jigba. And then once again, if Bucky plays, you start Bucky. If Bucky doesn't play, I personally then would be going James Cook. Just depends on how you feel on that matchup. But I can understand if you wouldn't want to start him there, Chef. But yes. All right. Chef with another one. Said happy playoffs from Florida. Cheers. Loving it. So Jared Goff, Jordan Love, Isaac Guerrero, Chase Brown, and then you're considering at the wide receiver position. Oh boy, this is a dynasty one. Okay. All right, this one seems pretty straightforward. I'm going to start Marvin Harrison Jr. Then I'm going to start Jackson Smith and Jigba. Then for me will be Jaden Reed. And you have Sam Laporta, you have Josh Jacobs, and at the last flex option, oh my gosh, why do you have all these options? Oh gosh, yeah, that's tough. This is another one, man. You really have to pay really close attention to who's going to be playing or not, because this really changed stuffs. This really changes a lot here. If Bucky doesn't play, look, once again, in order, it's going to be Kenneth Walker. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, you start Zach Charbonnet, right? Now, if Bucky plays, I'm still starting Zach Charbonnet over Bucky if Kenneth Walker doesn't play. So I'm just going to put Kenneth Walker in there. I'll say that one more time because I know that's confusing. Kenneth Walker plays, you start him. If he doesn't play, you start Zach Charbonnet. Now, if Bucky plays and you're saying, well, is it Bucky or Zach Charbonnet? It's going to be Zach Charbonnet for me, okay? Regardless of that situation, because I want to have part of that backfield, part of that matchup in the Green Bay Seahawks game. So no matter what, I'm going to be either starting Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet, unless Zach Charbonnet gets injured. So I'm just going to put Kenneth Walker there as a just in case, so you understand. But yes, that is the starting lineup at the wide receiver position there for you, Chef. Go to the next question here. Let's just refresh. I think that might be all the questions on the website already. Let's see. Okay, no, we got a couple more. Wes, appreciate it. He said Guerrero tonight or Dottle. We're going Isaac Herrero. I keep saying Guerrero. Let's just say Isaac. We're going to start Isaac tonight at the running back position for the San Francisco 49ers over Rico Dottle. Rico Dottle, interesting matchup, but that's where I personally would be going if I had him there. Appreciate you, Wes. All right, let's see. Oh, does it not do the thing? Oh, I think I just might have messed up. Oh, okay, I definitely might have messed up. Oh, no, wait. Okay, here we go. When you're getting dreads, though, appreciate you, fam. Brizzleton. Look, I don't know about dreads. I've had this hair for a long time, and I've been thinking about cutting it off. My hair is crazy long, I personally want to cut it off. The reason why I have my hair like this in the first place is because when I first moved to Australia, I couldn't find a barber. It took me, look, no disrespect to my barber and all the other barbers that I finally found in Australia, but it took me nearly 2.5 years when I first moved to Australia to find a good barber, because you got to just say it how it is. There's not that many black people in Australia, right? So, which is funny because what they call them, I guess, like the Native Americans or like the Aboriginal people here in Australia are the natives, and they're technically black. So if you look it up, Australia was actually not the founding people, like the natives to Australia are actually black. But then there was like this whole genocide with, it's a whole big story. But yeah, it's just 100%. There's no black people. There's not that many black people here. It's hard to find. It took me a couple years to find a guy that can even do a nice fade. And even then, I still don't like the haircut. Like, I'm not saying I don't like my haircut, but this is the best that I can do, right? This is, if I go, I used to go get a hair. I used to be like Sal. If you watch the Flock Fantasy league and Sal gets his haircut every week, 2 weeks, that used to be me, genuinely, because I used to go out all the time. I used to go, work or whatever the case may be. And I found, once I did that, once I found a barber in Australia, that's what I started to do. And I used to get a haircut every week in Australia once I found the guy that I like. And I kind of stopped, kids growing up. It's like, I don't really need my hair to be looking like too crazy. But anyways, appreciate that, Brizzleton. But yes, keeping it real, it's just not that many black people in Australia. Cram, he said, Guerrero in or out? God bless. Appreciate you. So we're going to start Jaden Daniels. Then we're going to be going at the running back position. We're going to start Isaac. Then we're going to start Brian Robinson. Okay. At the wide receiver position, we're going to go, Cooper Kupp. And we're going to go Jawan Jennings. Because at the flex spot, I am going to be going CD Lamb. Love the matchup here against the Carolina Panthers. As much as I love Garrett Wilson, if you want, that's just too risky of a start. It's not a safe floor. It's not a high ceiling. He can be boom or bust, right? So that's kind of where I go. I like the Brock Bowers pick. Obviously, you're going to be starting him. You're starting Cooper Kupp and Jawan Jennings at the wide receiver 1 and 2 spot because of that Thursday night game, and so with Isaac. So you have 3 guys playing on Thursday night, which is always a bit risky because I hate having that personally. But yes, appreciate that question, Cram. Appreciate that. Let's go to the next question here. Let's see if there's anyone else. Let me just refresh. Okay, do have a couple more. Jason P, thank you so much, man. Oh, why does it do that? Okay, no, I think that's working. I don't know why. Jason P, star 2, Lad Higgins, Adam, Brian Thomas, thanks. So Jaden Daniels, Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon Achane, and then T. Higgins. I personally will, you have Nico Collins, brother. Why aren't you not starting Nico? Lad Higgins, Adams, Brian Thomas. I mean, you're going to start Nico Collins. I'm not sure if you set this right because this is a star 8, Jason. Let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So maybe you didn't input the flex options. Jason, if you are here in the chat, let me know if you set that right. If not, I'm happy to just say, look, start 2. You're definitely going to be starting Nico Collins. And the other 2 that I would be starting would be Ladd McConkey and Devontae Adams. Easily in those flex options. So Nico is definitely in. You're going to start him with T. Higgins, and then Ladd McConkey and Devontae Adams are my 2 flex spots. I would be starting Ladd and Devontae over on Devontae Adams, or Devonta Smith, excuse me. So I just, not that I don't like the matchup, but he hasn't really been involved too much, and Devontae Adams feels like he has the safest floor out of Garrett Wilson, and Ladd McConkey looks like he's going to play, who has a favorable matchup against the Bucs this week. So that's where I will be going here. So hopefully that helps, Jason. I see you in the chat. It says Nico in, it won't let me input the flex. That's okay. So I'm assuming pick one of Ladd, Devonta Smith, or Devontae Adams. Go Ladd and Devontae Adams in those 2 flex spots, and hopefully that helps, man. This is a great team, though. This is a great team. All right, let's see, because it just says confirm. Let's see if I can, my reviews. Okay. Okay. AI 215, appreciate you. All right. Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, and then, oh gosh. Look, you're gonna start Breece Hall if he plays. If it's not Breece Hall, I'm going Braylon Allen. Okay, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, you're starting. Let's see who else you have here. You have Chris Olave and Devon Vele with Jake Ferguson, Shakira, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans, and then at the next flex, oh boy. Gosh, I mean, in this scenario, you just hope that. You just hope that Breece plays, so you don't have to start Braylon. For me, this will be Devon Vele. Just because of the matchup. They're going against the Colts. They're at home. Look, Vele hasn't been exciting, but this is the one that, like, hey, you know, if you hope that they can spread the ball out a little bit more. My only concern with this is that Troy Franklin and Marvin Mims have gotten a little bit more involved in the last couple weeks. I'm not a huge fan of Warren this week against the Eagles either, so I don't want to be starting Jaylen Warren. Patrick is interesting. Patrick Taylor is interesting, and I am starting him, what's crazy, in a league that I did make the playoffs, and my RB2 got injured. Well, I essentially never had an RB2 in that league. I've always picked off with the waiver wires, and I've always had these really bad running back RB2s, and I just so happened to pick up Patrick Taylor, and I won with him last week, which made me go into the playoffs. And this is why I'm even saying this and bringing this up. Not saying that I would start Patrick Taylor, but I'm just giving you my thought process. Because Isaac is playing injured. Essentially, he's going to be playing, but he's playing injured. One wrong move, one wrong cut, one wrong tackle can get him to get re-injured. Now, that is a 50-50 chance, or maybe a 40-60 chance that does happen, or even a 60-40 chance. We don't know. But Patrick Taylor was the next guy up. And what we saw last week from Patrick, he stepped up. He stepped up with that minimal role. And he, if I'm not mistaken, does score a touchdown, has over double-digit fantasy points. So he doesn't have double-digit fantasy points, but he does score a touchdown, has 8 fantasy points. And look, that's in the playoffs, you need high upside or a safe floor. And we don't even know what that is going into this week with Isaac. Not saying you should start him. Once again, just giving you my thought process. But I don't think Vele is giving you a higher upside with the way Marvin, Troy, and obviously Courtland Sutton is all getting the workload. You have to hope that Vele finds the end zone just like Patrick Taylor. But if Isaac is struggling with injury, why not risk it with Patrick a little bit and maybe put him in this RB1 spot? I don't know, man. That's tough. Or another thought process, once again, just word vomiting here, because this is what I do with my leagues, right? If Breece Hall doesn't play, sure, you start Braylon Allen. And then in the second flex, you can start Isaiah Davis. Once again, 2 guys that also had an opportunity. Braylon Allen, 11 carries, 5 opportunities in the air, over 12 fantasy points. But Isaiah Davis, very, very similar. He just finds the end zone. 10 opportunities, 6 targets in the air. The only problem with this is that they're playing the Jags. The Jags aren't going to be competing like Miami. So I think that is the only downfall. So once again, I'm just going to put Breece Hall here, and I'm going to put Devon Vele. But so you see that, you can understand what I am thinking. Okay. A Hall, he said voucher didn't work. but got it right this time. Oh man, sorry about that. I have to message our devs for that, because if I send you a voucher, you should definitely be able to get that. But hey, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for that one again. So this is the old one. So you're right. Okay, starting Baker Mayfield. You're gonna start Derrick Henry. Like I said, I will go Zach Charbonnet. Let's wait for the running backs. Let's go wide receiver next. You're gonna start Justin Jefferson. You're gonna start Amon-Ra St. Brown. You're gonna start Sam Laporta. I think Zach will go Tucker Kraft. I'll double check that. Okay, then we can look at the wide receiver positions, or at the running back position, excuse me. So at this running back 2 position is Zach Charbonnet. If Kenneth Walker doesn't play, I'm starting Zach Charbonnet over Aaron Jones. If Kenneth Walker does play, I'm going Aaron Jones. Okay. I'm not a big fan of Jonathan Taylor this week. Zach is not a big fan of Jonathan Taylor this week. Don't necessarily love the matchup with the Broncos, and I just don't love how he's been utilized in that backfield. So Zach Charbonnet if Kenneth Walker doesn't play, if not Aaron Jones. Okay, at the wide receiver, once again, Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta. And then at the flex, what do you need? My rankings is telling me Malik Nabers. My heart would say Jackson Smith and Jigba, and I wouldn't be upset where you would go. The reason why Malik Nabers is high in my rankings because I know he is the only guy that's going to be getting every single one of those targets going into week 15. Now he is playing with Tommy Cutlets, which is not exciting, but he has been a great option, right? He has been a great option. He's a top 10 wide receiver right now. 10 targets, 13 targets, 9 targets. I mean, he's been averaging, 9 to 10 targets per game since he came back from that concussion, even before that. I understand it's tough to rely on him, why I'm saying I wouldn't be mad with starting Jackson Smith and Jigba either, because of what he's also been doing, okay? I mean, he's been great. He's a wide receiver 6 right now. I don't think there's a wrong answer here. And with that being said, I'm going to tell you exactly what Zach would do, because I have his rankings up here. Jackson Smith and Jigba in week 15, wide receiver 18 for him. Malik Nabers, wide receiver 24. So he would go Jackson Smith and Jigba. I would go Malik Nabers, which I'm not upset about. I am not upset about you playing Jackson Smith and Jigba whatsoever. And this is also a high scoring matchup. If there's going to be a game in a week that the Seahawks need to win, because this division is kind of tight. They can really take this lead with them going to 9-5, beating the Packers here, as they are 8-5 right now. So I will go Jackson Smith and Jigba, actually, with, once again, my heart is saying that, but my rankings is saying Malik Nabers. So I'm going to put Jackson Smith and Jigba there, but hopefully that helps. And we appreciate you. Thank you so much for resubmitting that. Hall. Go to the next question. Trump Forrest, how you doing, brother? Says, if I grab Sharps, doesn't he start flex over Connor? Hate AJ Brown's matchup. Lad, Kenneth Walker, Aaron Jones, all questions. Peace, love. Great question. Sorry. If I go Sharps, does he start flex over Connor? Hey, AJ Brown's matchup. Okay, so let's have a look at this team, Trump Force. Jalen Hurts, Bijan Robinson, Joe Mixon. I'm not starting Connor over those guys. Drake London, T. Higgins, TJ Hawkinson. I get what you're saying. So you can somehow acquire Zach Charbonnet because he's on the waiver wires or something. Well, this is an 8-man team. Okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. I would still go James Conner over Zach Charbonnet. Now, what I will say is I know you don't like AJ Brown's matchup. We're still starting AJ Brown. You have to start your stars. We have a saying here, Trump Force, I'm pretty sure you know this, start your stars. Now, I get it. You're in an 8-man league. You probably need a safe floor. You just need a guy that can score you 10 to 13 fantasy points. AJ Brown can get you less than that the way he's been playing and performing the past couple weeks. I completely understand. But AJ Brown in any given week can go off. And I know you don't like his matchup, but I'm still going AJ Brown. I think Zach would say the same thing most likely. But if you didn't like that answer and you just say, let's just say you didn't have AJ Brown and you had the opportunity to pick up Zach Charbonnet and James Conner, it will still be James Conner for me. Okay, it will still be James Conner. So hopefully that helps, Trump Force. Appreciate you. I think that might be it on the site. Let's just see. Let's just refresh here, and then we can go to the YouTube version, and kickoff is going to be happening here soon. Okay, we did get a couple more questions on the site here. Pace the Mace. He's still Team Badaki. Hey, we appreciate you. Oh man, you know, I was gutted not making the playoffs, and once again, I said in the video, what more could I have done? I drafted a great team. My team was winning. I mean, I had my superstars, AJ Brown, Jaden Reed, both let me down. James Cook let me down. It was just the 1 week that you could have had a bad week, not that bad of a week. Do you get what I'm saying? But we appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that. Deciding on my last flex here with Isaac healthy. Thank you, Bolt Action Colt, Lamar, Anthony Richardson. Yeah, that's what I would do. Bijan Robinson, Josh Jacobs. Yep, I would do that as well. Okay, so Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jamar Chase, Mark Andrews, David Montgomery, Zay Flowers, and yes, I would go Isaac Horrendo there. So what we would do here in instance, we would actually put Isaac in the RB2 spot, and then you can put either the likes of Bijan Robinson and Josh Jacobs in the flex, just to make sure that you just never know, just in case. We like to do that just in case there's some injuries on Thursday night games or not. But appreciate you. I think that might finally be it for the questions on the website. Let's just triple check that. Okay, I think we are all set on the website here. Let's go back to the YouTube channel, and we appreciate you guys that have been patiently waiting over here on YouTube. All right, and we can go all the way up and just see what we have on the YouTube channel. I think the first one I can see is Michael. Let me know if that is correct. And I won't be able to show it. I'm not sure why. I think I know why. But Michael, I can see your question. The first one YouTube is letting me see is safe and sound here. But I can still see your guys' question, so I can answer it. So Michael's the first question. He says half PPR, need wide receiver, one wide receiver and 2 flex. Okay. He said Guerrero, Tracy, Neighbors, Waddle, Ridley, team 2. Keenan Allen and Tyrone Tracy. Okay, let's start there. So 1 flex, 1 wide receiver and 2 flex. Okay, so this one for me is definitely Malik Neighbors. At the flex spot, I'm starting Isaac and Tracy. That is, I'm assuming the half PPR. That's the first one, right? I love Waddle. I understand it. Ridley, I understand it, but I'm still going to go Malik, Tracy, and Guerrero because both those guys have been getting, for the Giants, have been getting a lot of opportunities in the air. At the second team, okay, I see team 2. It says meters. Can you clarify? And then it says Keenan Allen or Tracy. 1 flex, 1 wide receiver. Myers, sorry. So Jacoby Myers, Keenan Allen, or Tracy. So this one for me would be Jacoby Myers and Tracy for me. Okay. So once again, for team 1, Tyrone Tracy, Malik Neighbors, and Isaac Guerrero. And then team 2, Jacoby Myers and Tyrone Tracy. 1 flex, 1 wide receiver. Aiden O'Connell, it looks like he's going to be playing. Well, actually, is he going to be playing? Let me just triple check that. I think he did. Yeah, I actually think I might have to switch that. I think I might have to switch that there to Keenan because Desmond Ridder is expected to start. Yeah, I'm going to go Keenan Allen and Tyrone Tracy for the second one because I can't trust Desmond Ridder. Cruz, he says, honest thoughts on starting Guerrero tonight. Yeah, look, I was a little bit hesitant coming into this week. I didn't think he was going to play, and if he was going to play, I was saying, oh, I'm not necessarily sure if I want to, but I think if he's full go, like Zach said, I think he convinced me early in the week saying, look, we've seen in the past where, Jordan Mason was questionable in some of these short weeks, and he came up and he played a great game. Obviously, injuries are different for each and every player. But I think if he's a full go, I think they're going to give him every single opportunity until he gets re-injured, to be completely honest with you. So we're going to be starting Isaac tonight. All right, Safe and Sound, I think, is next, which is great. And let me see if I can get this up so you guys can see it, because we're not able to see that right now. It'd just be helpful if you guys could see that. Yeah, this would be helpful for you guys. So you guys can read the chat, and then we can do the last 5 questions at the end, like always. Okay. So, Safe and Sound, he says, appreciate you, man, for the super chat. Guerrero, Charbonnet, White, Tracy, Harris, pick 2. This would be Schaub and Guerrero if Kenneth Walker, does not play. I think that's a pretty straightforward, simple question there, but appreciate you, Safe and Sound. We buy homes near you. How you doing? It says non-PPR start 2. Running backs and a flex. Pollard, Isaac, Monty, Wright, Shakira, Smith, and Reed need upside play against Henry this week. Well, if it's upside play in a non-PPR, you need 2 running backs. We're going to go David Montgomery. And then at the RB2, we're going to go Isaac. So we're going to go Isaac and Monty. And then at the flex spot, high upside, I'm going to be going Shakira because I think he is the most likely guy to get a touchdown and those yardage that you need in a PPR. I know PPR doesn't necessarily matter, but that's where I would go, especially with his matchup this week. For Shakira, should be another high scoring game with the Bills and Lions. I just want to be part of that matchup, one of the highest over-unders of this week here. All right, Jason. He says, I need 2, Higgins, Adams, or Ladd. Let's go Higgins, and I am going Devontae Adams if he plays. I think that might be it for the questions on the Super Chats here. Let's just see. Okay, yeah, I think that's it. We appreciate you guys, and what I'll do, as always, as we always do, I'm going to answer 5 questions, and 5 questions only, because I need to set my own lineup, and kickoff here is about to start. So, 5 questions at random. We're going to find someone here, once again, like we always say, that we haven't seen on the live stream or we haven't answered in the past, but we appreciate you. Make sure you drop a like on the way out, and make sure you go check out all the other content. We have Stars of the Week. We have Bust of the Week as well that Zach has released. So stay tuned for all the other content, and then definitely on our Dynasty channel. But let's start off here with the first 1 out of 5. Let's see who I haven't seen. I've seen his name a couple times. X Nerbis 9. I don't know how to say your name, but I'll answer your question. He says, please help. I'm torn between starting Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts. You always start your stars, and Jalen Hurts is going to be starting for me over Brock Purdy, especially in those goal line opportunities. He's going to be getting there. Okay. That's 1 out of 5. Trey, you said, should I start Adam Thielen over over Justin Jefferson? JJ McCarthy. I feel like Zach would say yes. I think Zach would say absolutely not. can tell you that for a fact. He would say, hell no, you shouldn't do that. And once again, start your stars. I can tell you where he has Justin Jefferson and where he has Adam Thielen, and they are nowhere near each other. I'll tell you where Justin Jefferson is. He's wide receiver 5. Guess where Adam Thielen is? He's nowhere near Justin Jefferson, okay? So you are definitely going to be starting him over Adam Thielen. That's 2 out of 5. Who else? Who else do we have here? Leonard. Jonnu Smith or James Cook? That's a great question, because I personally would go James Cook, but it's not crazy to start Jonnu Smith. My only concern with Jonnu Smith is actually there's no concern. I think it's a great matchup against the Texans. They should be a high scoring game going back and forth. But we thought that last week, and it was the case. And Jonnu Smith got all his points at halftime or at overtime. So that's what I'll do. That's 3 out of 5. I see Mac says, do I flex Achane or Kittle? I mean, that must be a small league, but I'm definitely going to be flexing Devon Achane for sure. All right, this is a super chat here. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Cordell B says, Kyler Obo rest of season. That's a great question. That's a phenomenal question. I think we might have to understand their matchups. Maybe we're splitting hairs. Maybe what is their playoffs their playoff matchup's going to look like. And if I'm not mistaken, Bo Nix is definitely favored. I mean, he has Indianapolis obviously this week, and then he has the Chargers next week, and then Cincinnati. 3 games, or the next 3 games, if you include week 15, is great for fantasy playoffs. Obviously, high scoring games that he's going to have to score outside of this week. Arguably, the Colts, you can see that potentially the Broncos be leading, really, often and early. Where against the Chargers with Justin Herbert, that might be a shootout. Against the Cincinnati Bengals, is going to be a shootout who has a terrible secondary. But Kyler Murray, who does have the rushing upside, Bo Nix QB8, Kyler Murray QB10. Kyler Murray also has an interesting playoff matchup against New England. Obviously, this week, Carolina's phenomenal, and then the Rams. For me, this will be Bo Nix just based off what he's been doing for the past couple weeks and what he's been averaging. I don't think is that significant of a difference. Bo Nix, 18.1 fantasy points. And sorry, someone was calling me. So Bo Nix, 18.1 fantasy points. Kyler Murray, 17.8. I'm just going to go Bo Nix there, to be completely honest with you. But appreciate that super chat and that donation. All right, last question of the day. I see a couple people asking about Debo. So I'm gonna answer this question. Sure, fun. There's been a lot of questions about start Debo or this person. Should I go Debo or Brian Thomas or Debo or Ladd or whatever the case may be? Okay, give us some commentary about Debo. Debo versus Kraft. Debo versus Mooney. I'm interested in what you're thinking about Debo. Look, depending on your options, according to these options, I'm going to start Debo over Kraft. Am I starting Debo over Mooney? No. Debo is a boom or bust. I have Debo in multiple leagues that I have to start him because I don't have any better options. Right now, you have to lower your expectations. You can't think of what Debo has been, what he's supposed to be, where he's supposed to give you 15 fantasy points. That's not it anymore. Okay, I'm personally happy. I'm starting Debo in a league that I'm in the playoffs in with Debo Samuel. And I'm okay if sounds crazy. I'm okay if he gives me 8 to 12 fantasy points. That's a successful day for me for Deebo Samuel, because what he's been doing has been extremely disappointing. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I can show you here. If you look at it, it's been bad. It's been really bad. 6 points week 11, 12 points in week 3, 4 points in week 13, 15 or 5 points in week 14. That's not what you want to see. But Darnell Mooney has been great, like you said. And also Tucker Kraft, who's also been interesting. And I'm seeing here, and it's a 1.5 tight end premium. I would go Tucker Kraft if that's the case. If that's just a normal league where Romeo Doubs coming back, Jaden Reed should definitely be getting more opportunity coming into this week. I think Tucker Kraft might be on the back burner. I could be completely wrong, but that's what I'm hoping and believing, not only as a Jaden Reed believer, but as someone that believes Romeo Doubs is going to help this offense and take opportunities away from someone like a Tucker Kraft. But Deebo Samuel, you just have to lower your expectations. Forget about it. He's a flex option, and you are happy with 8 to 10 points in week 15. You're buzzing, because he got you less than 8 to 10 points in the last 4 weeks. So that's my analysis. It's tough because it's really frustrating with Deebo Samuel, because you probably drafted him because Brandon Ayuk was suspended, and then you probably traded for him, not suspended, was injured, and then you probably traded for him because Brandon Ayuk then tears his ACL. So you're like, okay, this is the time, but then it just went to straight shit. So he's really messed us up coming into this year. But anyways, appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I got to set my lineups. Good luck on Thursday Night Football. I hope you win your leagues. I truly do. I hope you win your week. I hope whoever you are starting tonight is going to go off like a Deebo Samuel. Okay, so appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you not tomorrow, but Monday night on the Dynasty channel, answering all of those Dynasty questions and reviewing your Dynasty team. So we appreciate each and every one of you. All love.